World War III fears have ignited after China sends 31 aircraft, including fighter jets and nuclear-capable bombers, towards Taiwan. Beijing's show of force crossed into Taiwan's air defense buffer zone and ignored radio warnings. Taipei scrambled its own fighters and readied surface-to-air missiles to counter against China's military exercise. This latest exercise was the largest incursion in China's intimidation against Taiwan and sent fears across the Taiwan Strait. Taiwan has been in a long-standing dispute with mainland China since a separate government was established on the island following the Chinese Civil War in 1949. The nation remains an important ally of Western countries due to its close proximity to Communist China. Fears have erupted over recent months that under Chinese President Xi Jinping, Beijing will use military force to reunify Taiwan with mainland China. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin said last month, "I wish to emphasize that abiding by the One China principle is one of the things that is key to China-Australia relations. Taiwan is a part of Chinese territory which cannot be separated. The Taiwan issue is entirely China's internal affair and is related to China's core interests, and we won't accept any external forces meddling or interfering in this." It was 25 years since the last crisis in the Taiwan Strait when the U.S. sent 2 aircraft carrier groups to stop China from disrupting the island's first fully democratic presidential election. Rear Admiral Jim Ellis, the commander of the battle group, told The Times, China swore that it would never happen again, and they've now fairly successfully been able to craft a strategy that would make it much more challenging and much more difficult. China's gone from bide our time to this is our time. There are fewer and fewer inhibitions. On Monday, NATO warned China posed systemic challenges to the rules-based international order. Beijing retaliated and called the statement slander of China's peaceful development. Pressure is mounting on Quad's members, including Australia, Japan, India and the US, to counter against China's dominance over Taiwan. Earlier this month, the UK deployed HMS Queen Elizabeth to the Indo-Pacific region in a bid to aid in countering Beijing's dominance. Defense Secretary Ben Wallace warned about China's increasing maritime assertiveness and stressed troops would be confident but not confrontational. Mr. Wallace added, "We must stand up for our values and rights wherever they come under threat, not just in our backyard, but far from our shores. This deployment shows that we are strong on our own but even stronger with our allies." Back in April, Taiwan unveiled a new amphibious warfare ship to land troops in the contested South China Sea region. The huge 10,600-ton ship, named after Taiwan's tallest mountain Yushan, is the latest part of Taipei's program to modernize its armed forces amid growing tensions with Beijing in the South China Sea. Tensions between Beijing and Taipei have escalated over recent months after China conducted military exercises close to the Taiwan-controlled Pratas Islands. Back in January, a total of 15 Chinese aircraft including 12 fighter jets entered the southern part of Taiwan and Pratas Island. A further 8 Chinese bomber planes and 4 fighter jets entered Taiwan's Ades, urging the nation to deploy missiles to monitor the incursion. Taiwan referendum to likely produces severe reaction, Beijing's red line. A China expert has outlined the possible scenarios that could spark a war with China, warning that Taiwan could prove to be pivotal for the start of a new major conflict. Speaking to Express.co.uk, Zhaochen Mao, Asia-Pacific analyst for AKE International, a global risk and security consultancy group and expert in Chinese foreign policy at SOAS University London, explained the circumstances that would need to take place if China were to launch an invasion of Taiwan. His comments come amidst growing speculation by international actors about the possibility of a Chinese invasion of Taiwan, but Mr. Mao insisted there would have to be key changes in the political landscape in order to turn the tables. Mr. Mao said, There are a few red lines that China has drawn to prevent a potential conflict in the Taiwan Strait. One is of course should the DPP Taiwan decide to call a referendum. The Democratic Progressive Party, DPP, is a Taiwanese nationalist party that is currently the majority party in Taiwan. The party has long campaigned on major social causes and better human rights and thus strives to break away from Beijing's influence and control. Concerns arose in China in January 2020 after Taiwan elected current President Tsai Ing-wen for a second presidential term.